Okay, hey collective. I'm here to read on Burna Boy and Chloe. Right? I'm getting all the celebrity names mixed up today. But Burna Boy. Okay. Because yeah. Okay, we're going to get into this. Hold on. Let me drink some more coffee. Okay. Because recently they're back together. Like, let me change my words. Because I know Chloe would want me to think before I speak. Don't use words you don't mean. Please, love. Okay. They were seen out together again. Boom. Okay. That is something that I mean, just intuitively, I know that that's something that Chloe's been wanting. She's been wanting him to show that interest again. And that's why she's left everything, very honest and private. She said she saw y'all saw her out. Yeah. She saw her too. She saw her get dressed and stuff for it and everything. So I feel like she's just, again, like I said from the previous one, she's in the moment of what that situation is. She doesn't care what everyone else is saying outside of it. She is focused on, okay, what am I doing with you? What are you doing with me? And blah, 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 blah. Like, where can I see this? Can you see this? What can we do more? And what can we see more together? Because it's like, and when I say, can I see this? Because she wants me to be very specific. That's what her energy is telling me. Is that, can you see more of us hanging out together? Can you see us going to other places when you get finished here? Can you see more of us, doing other things together, I'm even thinking like she's wondering too, like if there's anything that he can present or propose or I don't know, even maybe like be a catalyst for professionally, because she's a singer, right? And he's a music artist too, right? So they're both music artists. So I think she's also kind of looking at things like, okay, are there things that you can teach me about the industry, or is there some type of like extra knowledge that I can gain from this connection? Because she's not a stupid woman. Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. In case we needed to know, she's not caught up in her head about this. She's looking at everything. Well, all right. I am glad. Listen, I'm so glad I'm here for it. I haven't pulled a card yet because I'm right. But anyway, let's keep going. All right. So now that I've told you everything, what's the energy? Yeah, they're enjoying that. They're in this 10 of Cups energy. And the 10 is talking about completion. So getting back together again to hang out and spend time and get to know more about each other in an intimate way. That's what that is, carrying on with each other, seeing what type of emotions strike up. Because if you will notice, it's not until, and I want to say 10 even like days too, but sometimes it's like might have to spend 10 days with someone to see whether or not they're emotionally like on the same level as you, if they can keep you happy and aligned. And I want to say this because one of the videos I saw of them at the restaurant, he was standing up and he was dancing and he was doing his thing. And I was not impressed. But it wasn't for me to be impressed, you see. That's why. I'm not going to confuse myself. Okay? Put myself in some type of situation. But it's also because right now where they're at in their relationship, because I don't care who it is. It could be your hairstylist. You have a relationship with that person. You go patronize their business. That's your relationship. So that's why status, everything is a relationship. You have a relationship with the customer service person that you call. You know what that relationship is? Get this stuff handled for me, customer service. All right. Just so I don't want people to misinterpret my words. The fruition of them hanging out again and stuff like that, and getting to know each other, seeing more of each other's emotions, if they could remain in this happy alignment throughout, multiple days, because it's one thing to be in the first, in that honeymoon phase where you're first together and blah, 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 right? But then when you start to get into this, what is this? This energy of like, okay, is this relationship stabilizing, or maybe like after the honeymoon, once the plane lands kind of energy? Yeah, trying to make sure like you're not, I think they both enjoyed the clarity that they've had in the time away, just so that they could refocus on what they wanted to do once they got back in each other's presence. And I feel like he was apprehensive because he's had experiences, in the past, and he's also taking the time to think and saying, okay, well, I do want to show her an interest and I don't want to leave her out like that. Because that was the first indication, like that's the first energy I felt. He was like, I don't want it to look like that. And initially I was like, oh, okay. And I didn't know if that was just like his own, like Burna Boy was just like, for image, but it's not. It's not image. He's been able to sit with his emotions and say, no, wait, I actually like her. I actually enjoy time with her. I'm just curious if, what more there is to know. And, if we're going to look at takes two to tango, if we can learn I love this. I love this because this is really, really good. Like, this is really, really good. I'll put this over to the side here for a second because look, this is like enlightenment. Whatever occurred, it kind of helped to enlighten. I was just talking about Burna, right? And the Emperor energy. Like, oh, okay, well, if I was to look at this for, more stable terms, from a more stable position, not to say he's unstable, just from like how to stabilize something moving forward in the right spot. Like, you don't want to get ahead of yourself either. So that's what they're doing. I like this. To the tango, learning to dance. They did some dancing. It was horizontal tango, and I know. And so I think they wanted to like check back in and like, is these real emotions or is these fake ones? And I think that that's healthy cycles. I think we should see a lot more of that happening where it's like, okay, we can take the time apart. We don't have to mouth each other. We don't have to unfollow. We don't have to say, oh yeah, he did this or he did that, or I'm not happy with this. I'm not happy with that. We just need to be in control of our emotions. Back to the part where he was dancing. Like I said, I wasn't impressed, but it wasn't for me to be impressed. But what I noticed in that moment is that she actually does have a genuine, like, compassion towards him. It's not like an image or like trying to like catch one. She's actually into like his energy. Like, she's no longer in a phase, because maybe that's something that she was doing previously, was dating people or looking at people like, oh, I want to catch that one. Oh, I want to catch that one. But now her energy has changed and she's like, oh, wait a minute. If I catch something, is that really what I want? So that's why she's kind of just like, okay, maybe even like kind of sitting back from that opinionated, hasty, energy that, yeah, she's pulling back from that. Yeah, she's become enlightened. It's like the dark side of the moon is the first thing that I wanted to say, but like she's recognizing her triggers as they take place in a quiet manner. She's like introspecting, retrospective, because she realizes like the value of a good solid relationship, of him actually showing up in this Emperor energy, what that could look like. But she also knows that she has to be able to like hold back any insecurities. Okay. And maybe even not feel insecure if she was to approach him and talk about like, okay, so we're both in the same industry. Like, is there something, you've got it? Like, I don't even know that it has to be that forward. I feel like if they start to discuss more, like in their downtime when they're, having breakfast or whatever, or dinner or whatever, that they spend a little bit more time talking about what they're doing next. Like, even to go into like, okay, so when summer gets here, I'm trying to work on this, this, and this. Maybe even sharing a little part of what they're doing in the future. I feel like 6 months from now, 3 months from now, kind of thing, like 3 months and 6 months. Look, 3 months and 6 months. It's going to help them to kind of maybe even establish something, like maybe even figure out, more like, oh, wait a minute. This is a comfortable way to balance, things out. Oh, wait, that means I could probably see her, at this point in time. I feel like she's wanting to go somewhere else, though. She's not wanting to be, yeah, he's not, it feels almost, what I'm getting here is kind of like in this energy that they're in right now, because they're working through things in such a good way, that he's not feeling like he has to think really hard about the things and the decisions and the commitments that he's making with her, because they're not pushing on him. It's not like, well, we have to do this and we have to do this. Like, oh, would you be available? Would you have time? And, not even like asking necessarily, but just kind of sharing where you're going to be, what you're going to be doing, and be like, ooh, that I heard about such and such, such and such. If you were me, you would say museum. So I heard about such and such museum. Would you want to go do that? Like, because I'll be out here if you could make it. Kind of thing. So and I feel like it's not anything that like has to be written in stone with these two either, because they kind of like that idea of like being flexible. Like he could, want to see her sooner than they agreed. He could want to see her, she could want to get together a little bit later. It's that kind of energy where it's like, there's no make it or break it right now. It's getting to know you. Let's see what we can put in this together. Let's see what we can attempt to enjoy together. I think that's healthy. Look, it says so right here. That's healthy. I like this. And that is definitely the holy coy. The 20 my bad. It is definitely like the awakening, the judgment about how to, like, the Seven of Pentacles is really just taking things with time and growth and faith in, like, healthy things and building healthy habits and being patient enough to watch those things work well. That's what I believe they're doing now. Like, holding back from maybe, you know, speaking about or speaking up on how you feel in a moment. So maybe this is more Chloe's, maybe even his. Like, maybe they're learning that together. Like, oh, maybe we need to, you know, not Burna so much. Is what I'm getting. Like, I feel like they're working together to figure out different ways to kind of, you know, be in this, you know, be connected more. This is really wonderful. I'm glad I clicked into this. Yeah. And he's like, ooh, I think he might even get kind of excited, like, at the thought of doing something together. Like, and I'm seeing this German a whole nother way. Like, even just like the spark of the thought of, like, collabing. It gives, like, I don't know, I'm getting some energy of, like, seeing a video. Like, he's already there. Oh, this is too funny. Because it also kind of immortalizes a moment in their lives too, you know, which I feel like because they're being so healthy about the way they're handling their emotions with one another and how they're respecting each other, that you know, there's not a lot of room for this, like, germy conflict is what I'm getting. Yeah, that germ is still there. So it's like, yeah, this whole, like, and I think they're okay. So I'm getting the germs as, like, the triggers, the things that make you think outside of yourself and start to act like either, like, past, you know, relatives, you know, or, you know, like some inherited, you know, mindset and thinking and ways of doing things, etc. Or if it's like inherited mindset of ways of thinking or judgment because of past relationships. I'm only saying that because it's the masculine here energy. So it's like, but both masculine and feminine can be in the same thing. And that's what I believe they're doing, is working on making sure that they're not in that's not them. That they're being true to themselves. Yeah. That they're being true to themselves because they realize, like, oh, okay, as long as I'm true to myself and being honest with myself, then ultimately I'm going to be able to give my person that much energy too. And if that's what we're focused on, because there's this third beam here. So it's like, oh, I can work, you know, separately in my own little trigger. And then we could, like, discuss it later. I feel like there's a lot of good communication happening here. Yeah. Because I feel like they're trying and making the best effort to think and make good decisions about how they communicate with each other. You know, I think no lying is definitely a part. Like, no lying and no, like, I don't want you to be seen out somewhere with somebody before I know about it myself. Like, don't let somebody catch you out, because that, you know, indicates cheating. You know, they don't want any type of, like, some alternative realities. Like, it's like, okay, everybody knows that they're hanging out, that they're spending time with each other, that they're getting to know each other. And because of that, you know, people want to create these false realities and things like that. So they're trying to make sure that they do things correctly. Yeah. Not to live in an anxious moment, or not letting, maybe even past people bring in any energy, or, like, backtrack. Maybe the ex that he just broke up with or whatever, making sure that, like, she's not in some energy thinking that she can have a way back in. But I don't feel like that's something he's looking to do, because he feels like he would be gaslighting. Yeah, he's like, no, I'm on the hook for this journey. He's like, I'm hooked on what we're doing right now. He's like, there's no way I want to look at anything in the past that's a gaslight. All right, I like it. I like it. He's like, there's no way I'm going to lose again. He's like, I'm not treating this like a revolving door. I'm not going to sit here and, like, ghost her. I'm not going to, like, he's not going to pretend. There's no pretending, and there's no, like, needing to expose everything to people either. That's what I get too. Maybe some people outside feel like, oh, they're gaslighting. Oh, they're not. Oh, they are. Oh, they're this. Oh, they're that. Like, really, that's nobody's business. That's not your business, outside world. You lucky to let you see what they want you to see. Yeah, some people may even feel like he's gaslighting her. You know, this is going to be a problem. And they just hanging out, drinking, maybe playing games. If it's a game they playing and they playing it together, they like that. They might like playing 007 on a Nintendo 64. That's not for everybody. I feel like they're not in like they don't care about people outside of this. I'm just keep it 100. They feel like everything outside of what they're doing together and what they're manifesting together is toxic. They feel like everything outside of what they're focused on, as far as they've decided as people who are seeing each other and not everybody else around them or outside of them, they're focused on that. And making sure that they communicate effectively enough with each other that there are no surprises and like no conspiracies, and so no one feels gaslit in this. Surprise. Maybe this is going to come as a surprise to some people, like some onlookers or some watchers, some nosy news. Maybe somebody's mama. Oh, yeah. Maybe. Does he have any children? Hold on. Let me look this up. I don't be knowing about these people, and I just be out here talking, and then I'll go Google them afterwards to find another picture, and I'll be like, oh, wait a minute. They already did that? Oh, I didn't know. You know why? Because I'm not in their business. But if you ask me to read their cards, I'm going to see what's in their business. Whether it be something in the past, present, or future. You know, again, there's always little tidbits, too, that people might get. But I want to see what this is. So, I don't know if I've never heard of any children for him. But I don't know people's business. He doesn't have any children yet. Yeah, because he's not settled and married, he said, and he can't provide the same love to his children as parents. So maybe, is this his parent? And I don't know what I just said about the circumstances. Oh, maybe it's taking time. If his mom is Nigerian, maybe I mean, I can't hold it against people for being, you know, traditional in their ways. You know what I mean? But you have to consider too, like if he's traditional in that way of considering what his mother thinks, then he would be traditional in the way that like he approaches his relationships too, like that just said. So maybe this is some like there's some new things. I feel like there's a lot to unpack here, and they're taking their time with it because no one wants to be discouraged by, you know, a parental figure, but if they're focused on making sure their union is what it should be within the two, they won't have a problem getting the parent on board. It does not matter. This energy coming from it would not matter. Yeah. And I feel like that's why they're trying to do this the right way too, making sure not to be catfished by any, you know, or controlled by any timelines or any things that they read and stuff. Maybe really staying out of the energy of even saying anything wrong, controlling their words, you know, about the relationship, which may be why I was so guarded with my words to start. Yeah, because they don't want any like things out there that are a misrepresentation. They very much want to control the things that they're in control of the things that they're doing. So they feel like we should also be in control of the things that are coming out about what we're doing. And the only way to do that is to kind of be in control of yourself. Okay. Because it's clear. What can you say? You can't say anything. You don't have no receipts about what's going on with them. Because all you got was what they told you. And the entertainment purposes only readings that I be doing. Maybe people get a little nervous about like, what's she going to say? Sorry. Is there deception? We're going to find out about some deception. I don't see any of that. Like, yeah, I feel like they got out of that energy prior to embarking on connecting again. Okay. All right. That feels good. What is this? Yeah. They don't want to be the post. Oh, wow. Yeah. Maybe this is the smallest part of the conflict is, you know, and also I'm feeling like this person doesn't want to be the poster person. Like they see that in other people's relationships, maybe even in the industry too. But I've been talking about that a lot on my Fancy Granola Goddess tarot reading too, because like they kind of mix. I mean, energy is energy, but they see other people being guided by like traditional this and traditional that, and how they're not happy with it, even in the industry. And I'm not trying to like get too much into it, but I feel like all this conflicting information about who married who and for why. I'll just leave it there. And he wants to make sure that he's not doing something that's controlled or desired by someone else without him first desiring it himself. He doesn't want to be the poster for somebody who's like a mama's boy. He wants to have respect for his parents and his family and create his own traditions that instill the same thing. Maybe and it's no disrespect. That's what he's saying. He's like, it's never any disrespect. Maybe there's something he knows from his father that his father and his mother did differently that he he knows wasn't traditional, and so on and so forth. But he knows like this is a way to kind of ghost all the conflict. He understands that what he's doing is the way to ghost the conflicts that come with being steered in a specific direction, you know. And he's like, oh no, we got calm that conflict. Was his ex also Nigerian? That's what I'm curious about. Let's look at that real quick. My bad. I don't typically Google like this, but this has been interesting. That was his ex-fiance, right? Excuse me. Stefan Don. What kind of name? Okay. She looks American, but I can't say that, you know. Is she? What is she? It looks like she's in. I don't know. Like I did that like I was really gonna find that out. Oh gosh, there's like a whole video on like every woman who's ever died. It cracks me up. That cracks me up. Cracks me up because the you know celebrities don't have that same privacy. But I don't feel like anybody does now that people are becoming more spiritual. Anyway, let me get out of here. If that was also like maybe what that came up with the ex, and so that may be like a past energy that he felt that he's trying to make sure he's in control of too, like he's thinking about the way that he handles and he communicates things with his mother, because she's wanting to know like, okay, but I get it. And listen, I have Nigerian relatives, so I understand. Like my baba and they're different, and I get it. I respect it. I love it. It's like it's not a fast way to it. And don't be caught in all of this stuff. Like that's the best way, right? Is to not be in this. And I feel like that's what Chloe likes too. That's what she appreciates. This emperor energy that she gets from him. Maybe that's something she got to see previously that other people didn't, which is maybe what changed, Oh, yeah. It's kind of like maybe where some people, or maybe it's her sister, wasn't in the same energy. It's like, no, I don't see this, or, everybody has something to say, right? But that energy kind of is being deflected by the fact that they're actually able to work on things and not being, stuck in some type of like false reality. Oh, yeah, they're manifesting things together. So that's great. When you and it could just be like getting to know each other better and spending more time together. What is wrong with that? What is wrong with two professional people who are becoming more emotionally secure in their dating one another? Like, that's perfect. Yeah, ain't no, I didn't even want to look at that. I was like, yeah, it's not about no too many cats. Yeah, no broken bed energy. Yeah, that's what they're making sure they manifest, is like they keep that out of their real with respect to each other. They're only manifesting the things that they actually want, which is not other people, and it's not to have a broken down relationship just because you're using this person for like, ooh, catch me one of them, or ooh, shorty is hot kind of thing. It's not that. Yeah, it's like we got to have the endurance and the strength, and I think they're thinking about that separately, and then when they come together and communicate, they're finding they're on the same page, and it's really helping. Yeah, it's really helping them to take out any like noise, any outside things. And they're grateful for that. Like they appreciate that about each other. They like that they were able to, I guess maybe like get in there when it was kind of getting mixed up. Like it's because it's like bitters and mustache wax. So it's like they used, maybe it was bitter to her and maybe it was like ego to him. Those were the triggers. Like his ego triggered him, and her, bitterness from a previous relationship may have. And they realize, like, are we playing games with each other, or is that what we not trying to do? And they realize that's not what they're trying to do. Like, let's go. All right, yeah, there's a menacing energy in the background that's trying to bring them some concern or whatever. But again, I feel like that's just the ex energy, So, stay away from that. That's all I can say. Anybody trying to catfish, don't let nobody be in nobody's DMs. Don't even think you can lie about that. You cannot lie about the DMs. Like, that's getting real old. You cannot lie about the following and unfollowing, and you can't lie about none of that. So, and then the other caution I'm getting here is like, be very communicative, to take the time out when you guys are having emotional circumstances with each other, whether that be separately or together, and just say, babe, I need a timeout too. Or like, babe, is this going to do you think this is, I don't know. They have a good way of speaking to each other. Because I feel like there's somebody trying to catfish them. Yeah, somebody's trying to... Yeah, somebody might be trying to like send some energy to them of like to be fearful about their, you know, their relationship, and somebody's trying to push that negative energy. Again, I don't know if it's an ex. I don't want to, you know, put anything on Stefan Don, but it could just be people, you know, in the general public that are like, oh, I don't, you know, it could be somebody from, you know, his hometown is like, oh, you shouldn't this, you know, I don't know, but there's no danger here. There shouldn't give any concern to that kind of garbage. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't see any issues here. I think they're just trying to, you know, figure it out. Not get caught in any like emotional moments, and not being in an energy of like, it's kind of like that, not being too responsive and not being completely unresponsive. They're digging into it. Yeah. They're digging into their, you know, conversations, communications, and, you know, next week's, months, etc. I like it for them. Okay, I hope that this has been exciting, insightful, and helpful in some way, shape, or form, and I will catch you on the next one. Later.